JC Tickets provides first-class trips to Ravens road games, including airfare, 4-star hotels, game tickets, and cocktail parties. We also help provide great seating locations to all Ravens home games. JC Tickets, where the games begin. Visit us at jctickets.net.
Ravens Wrap is sponsored by Bud Light, jctickets.net, Geico Insurance, Dunaway Furniture, Ocean City Golf Club, RussellStreetReport.com, Comfort Inn Gold Coast, Holiday Inn Express, BuyAToyota.com, your official site for Toyota deals. The original Green Turtle, hosted by the Blue Ox Bar and Grill.
Welcome back in. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. The original Green Turtles Ravens Wrap Show here on Comcast Beach TV, 47 ABC WNBT, and 93.5 The Beach, coming to you from the Ravens Room at the Blue Ox Bar and Grill, 127th Street and Coastal Highway in Ocean City with Ravens Roost 44. Give yourselves a hand. Feeling holly and jolly after the 20-12 win over the Jacksonville Jaguars, putting the Ravens at 9-5 right now and into a 6th seed right now if the season were to end today for the AFC playoffs. And we're looking forward to hopefully another 2 wins before the season's out, and we'll see where that puts us with everything. Mike Bradley, Tony Lombardi, John Gehrig, Mayor Rick Mann of Ocean City, all joining us here on the panel. And as our final show of 2014, as we'll be off for the final 2 weeks, and hopefully Ravens make the playoffs, then we'll have a playoff edition most likely in January. But guys, as we were talking about the game, and Tony, I like you usually have the good, the bad, the ugly, the Megan Fox. It was the ugly, uglier, and Roseanne Barr.
And the ugliest thing.
Yeah, at RussellStreetReport.com.
She was that too in my previous analogy.
10 p.m.
Yeah, the 2 to 10 and 10 to 10.
Yeah.
But as we talked about,
it has to be 4 o'clock for her to be at 10.
Better to win ugly than lose pretty, as we talked about it. A lot of things in this game to talk about, but once again, unfortunately, injuries reared its ugly head in the secondary. Cornerback Asa Jackson, who bounced back and made a really nice play on one of the wide receivers and covering him downfield. Unfortunately, we lost him to a knee injury, and safety Terrence Brooks as well. They've both been placed on IR, out for the year. It's the 5th cornerback for the Ravens to go down this year with a season-ending injury. And Terrence Brooks at safety, the rookie out of Florida State, hadn't really done much this year, but we're pretty thin in the secondary. We could use all the bodies we could get, but boy, have you seen this many injuries to one position before?
Not in one position. It's been amazing, really, in a bad way. The thing with Terrence Brooks that worries me is he's got an ACL, and that's going to take a while for him to recover. So he may miss a good part of next season. I think that the Ravens were trying to look at Will Hill as a restricted free agent after the season, so they kind of control him with a second-round tender probably. So he'll probably be back with the Ravens in 2015. And Terrence Brooks is a guy that I thought they were going to pair up with because Matt Elam has been a disaster. Yeah. He is one of the worst safeties in the NFL per Pro Football Focus. And I think I did a statistical analysis on him recently. He made, heading into the Jaguars game, 18 tackles on the season. He missed 12. Now, that's pretty good if you're a baseball player, but it's not too good if you're an NFL safety.
Yeah. Well, and so those injuries have some 2015 implications. And we talk about high draft picks for Matt Elam and Terrence Brooks, neither of whom have done much. And Brooks could be out a decent part of next year. Elam hasn't done anything. You hope he can get better. But at that point, okay, Will Hill's back, but do we have to then go out and use another draft pick on a safety next year,
They
John?
will.
That's 3 on one position. That's a lot. And down the road, that could hurt us. And we could end up being short at another position because of that.
It's kind of like Cleveland and their quarterbacks.
So like we were talking about before.
But, of all plays, or of all kickoffs for Tucker not to kick it out of the end zone, that's where Brooks goes down.
Right.
When that was the first kickoff,
Yeah, it was the
right?
first play of the game.
It's almost like if it wasn't serious, it's almost comical, really, how many these guys just keep going down. It's like a 2 or a 3 number jersey constantly getting carted off or helped off the field. So it gives other guys opportunities, and they may find Greenwood may be, is that his name?
Chris Greenwood.
I'm ready. I can put a 3 on my back.
6'2",
Don't forget
195.
Antoine
32.
Kingson, who
He
was
could be
picked
a
up last
31
year.
or
6'2".
32.
He's got a 43-inch vertical leap, runs a 4.42.
Bruce
He's
Lair.
got the measurables.
We may have to call Bruce Lair before the season's out. I mean, with all the
I might
injuries
have
that
more
we
confidence in
You know,
Bruce.
yeah, I think I might
15
too as well.
Now, then we have to hear about 15 years.
That's what Bruce is. He's in training.
That's right.
He's
that's
working
why he
out
hasn't been
just
here.
in case.
He's secretly getting ready. Although, what did he say? He'd charge at least a couple million just to get dressed, something like that. So.
Well, you know he'd be dressed right.
Yeah, well,
Right,
yeah,
right.
he's got the code down. But I mean, Rick, I don't know if you've seen a rash of injuries over the years with the Browns. If one position's had that many injuries, I mean, not just corners but safeties here as well with us.
Well, I think it's it's unbelievable how many players throughout the league have gotten injured this year, and how many are out for the year. And you look at different teams, and yes, I focus on the Browns, and I watch. I think they're out 4 defensive linemen, 3 of their starters. I mean, that's just in one position spread over that. So I mean, it's something you're seeing happen throughout the league, but it really stands out in the defensive backfield.
I
mean,
think
it
Rick
just
brings up a really
stands
good
out.
point, too. The rash of injuries, the CBA has done everything it can to try to prevent injuries. They're policing the game to try to prevent injuries. You can't practice as hard during the week. You can't have as many contact drills in training camp, yet there's more injuries. So somebody ought to study that.
Right, one padded practice.
Hit more and you're injured less.
Right.
Roger Goodell.
These guys only hit, I believe, on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. They're not hitting. I mean, it's thud at best, and with shoulder pads and helmets, and that doesn't get you ready for the game time speed. And I think that is a part of it. The Ravens, though, 15 players on season-ending IR this year, 6 of them defensive backs. And again, we talked about depth being important, but it's good to know we're not the only ones that have a rash of injuries at one position.
Nobody likes to see that. When I play
No,
a team, I
absolutely.
want to play the best on their team against the best on
agree.
our team. I mean, that's exactly what you want. And it's unfortunate that we're not seeing that as we get later and later into the season.
Well, at least we get maybe Case Keenum against our secondary or Johnny Manziel against our secondary. So it's kind of even.
Thad
Washington
Lewis.
or Thad Lewis. That's right.
Well, we've been fortunate that, we're facing some quarterbacks and passing games that aren't as good. Eventually, if we get to the playoffs, we certainly will. So we'll deal with that when we get there. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it, as they say. Guys, I want to go back. One of the things that's been a stalwart for the team this year has been the running game. And look, we talk about a week-to-week league. I think what we're talking about there is, it's a matchups. And this week, we just did not match up very well against their front seven. Credit the Jacksonville Jaguars. Yeah, maybe we could have played better. Forsett was banged up, so you saw he certainly wasn't running the ball as well as he's usually doing. But the line just wasn't blocking that well. And we saw that last year. You can talk all you want about Forsett this year, but if Forsett, Taliaferro, and Pierce was running behind last year's offensive line, they would not have been nearly as good. It all starts up front, and they just didn't win the matchup.
I think it's about numbers. And what I mean by that is the Jaguars sold out on the run. They were hell-bent on stopping Justin Forsett and Bernard Pierce and whoever else they were going to carry the ball. But I think when you don't have the numbers, you're going to lose those matchups. I mean, it's not a question of, Yonda not doing his job. I think that the play calling was bad in that game.
Who's the final decision maker? Who's responsible for counting the numbers?
The quarterback.
No.
But I don't know if that quarterback is given the flexibility of checking out a play.
Well,
we don't know that.
No,
we don't.
We haven't seen it.
I didn't say anyone's name.
Well, look, they weren't always putting 8 guys.
But we've talked about the
They
math
weren't always
problem
putting 8
before.
guys in a box. So I mean, to be fair, we lost some matchups at times. They beat us. I mean, as far as I consider. You're right. There's more to it than that. I get that, and there are times when Joe should check out of plays. Whether he's given that flexibility, we don't know. But
But it could have been numbers and matchups.
What NFL quarterback is not allowed to audible?
well, limited.
That's a
It's
bigger
limited.
problem.
It's
If that's the
limited.
case, that is a major problem.
Well, it's limited. But anyway.
Well, he does do this.
Yeah.
That means we're not running left anymore. We're running to the right.
Yeah. Well, nonetheless, the running game, which we've
That's
been
like a bird, because he's a raven.
Yeah.
the
well.
goose.
Yeah.
Well, the running game, which we've been accustomed to having, certainly, well, it wasn't there. I mean, if you take a look at the stats, 26 for 93, a 3.6 average. So, and to rely on the passing game.
My biggest concern there is Justin Forsett. He's had a marvelous year, but up to the Jaguars game, I think he had already carried the ball 75 more times than he ever has in his career. And he's not a big guy.
I thought the Ravens were going to watch that a little bit because knowing that
They're watching it go up, up, up.
Yeah.
They're watching. I
And-
mean, I don't think they're managing it well at all. I mean, Taliaferro had an opportunity against lesser opponents when they were beating guys at the line of scrimmage to run the ball more and did not. Same with Bernard Pierce. So it's a little too late. The tread's on the tires.
So that's a good point. That's a very good point. And at this
And now
point, it is what it
Taliaferro's
is.
out.
Right. Well, that's the other thing. Lorenzo Taliaferro did not play in Sunday's game.
The
He was in
Ravens' Italian stallion.
Yeah, he was in a walking boot, and he's been placed on IR the other day, so he's out for the year. That's a big loss in the backfield. Bernard Pierce and Justin Forsett are the two guys in the backfield there. They took Fitzgerald Toussaint out of Michigan, who's been on a practice squad at times this year. They brought him from the practice squad up to the active roster.
Right.
I mean, but if the offensive line blocks, and they have been dominating the line of scrimmage pretty much all year, I mean, there is tread, but I think that tread may manifest itself next year. Like a guy I wouldn't want on my fantasy teams, DeMarco Murray, right? I mean, it's the statistics for guys after they get a bunch of carries the following year.
He's not a keeper for next year.
Yeah, I don't know about that. But so, I think if the offensive line, they're kind of in a groove there. So if we do get the numbers, but that's a quarterback's job. We got to check into plays that give us an advantage. And that's where I thought Jacksonville could have offensively put themselves in better schemes to attack the Ravens defense. They just came out in their base personnel. I just didn't get it. They could come out. They have a running back that can catch. That's okay running the ball, I guess. But they have some receivers to match up against the Ravens secondary. But they didn't come out.
They
Didn't
dropped
spread,
some passes too.
Yeah, they dropped some ball. They didn't come out and spread the Ravens out and see if they could put them in. When you have John Madden used to say when a secondary guy, when someone in your secondary goes down, it's more far-reaching than one guy because now your nickel and dime packages, you have fifth and sixth.
It's a domino effect.
Yeah, I mean your sixth best guy, your last guy on your depth chart is now on the field playing. So you got to spread those guys out and play the matchup. You just don't see. It's just poor coaching. I mean, I thought it was poor coaching from the Ravens, but it was poor coaching from the Jags, and that's what you kind of expect out of a team that's.
Well, we saw that against Miami. We were questioning why they didn't go downfield more. But Rick, with the Browns, they've done a running back by committee approach. They've got some talented backs there in West and Crowell, Tate. They parted ways with. But in the league, for the most part, you're seeing a running back by committee, and the Ravens are going to have to go by that and use their backup a little bit more now. It looks like.
Yeah, I mean, it's worked well for them to be able to spell the two running backs and put the one that's hot into the game. And they have different situations that different ones run in, but it's all about the blocking up front. Their game certainly changed dramatically when Mack, their center, their all-pro center, went out. I mean, they still haven't adjusted to that. They've tried two other centers, and it just hasn't worked. So you have to have the right personnel on that offensive line, and they've got to be on their game to get that running game going. And Jacksonville, they stacked the line. That was their goal. They were going to stop the run. They were going to make Baltimore throw the ball.
Well, which is a smart thing to do with us relying on the run the way we do. We need that to jumpstart us. A lot more to come. We'll talk about the defense coming up. The Ravens win 20-12 over the Jaguars. It's a Ravens Wrap Show. Comcast Beach TV, ABC 47 WNBT, and 93.5 The Beach. We're back next.
What's this all about?
We're giving Rich the NFL experience of a goal line dive.
Really?
There's an easier way to get an ultimate NFL fan experience. Just snap the tag wherever Bud Light is sold and you could win. Bud Light in the NFL. Here we go.
Can I make it?
On the internet, yes. Into the end zone, no.
JC Tickets provides first-class trips to Ravens road games, including airfare, 4-star hotels, game tickets, and cocktail parties. We also help provide great seating locations to all Ravens home games. JC Tickets, where the games begin. Visit us at jctickets.net.